Hello and welcome back to the channel. This isn't really like a fun as welcome back, but this is also a metamorphosis of this channel. I'm Chad Ellison.
And I'm Russell Howe.
And look, here's the story goes, we both had YouTube channels that we were tragically neglecting. Like tragically, like if YouTube channels were kids, we would be the worst parents of all time.
This is true.
I mean, you haven't posted a video in what, a year, maybe two?
Almost. It's been about 8 or 9 months. My last video literally was a trailer review for Toy Story 4, which has just about left the theater. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, we thought, we both have a similar problem. So why not come together, with, dual accountability and just restart, well, not restart, but start up the Notorious by Chance YouTube channels, more like a companion piece for our podcast. Where we come in, we talk movies every week. We talk about the big movies in theaters, maybe sometimes small movies in theaters. Who knows? We are here to do what we do best, and that is talk movies. And this one, well, what better way to start off this channel than with a movie that I know both you and I were really, really hyped for.
Yeah.
I think this one was on both of our top 10 anticipated of the year list, and that is It Chapter 2. This is the sequel to 2017's It, which I'm pretty sure you and I are both big fans of. I know I was.
Yeah, absolutely. Watching it again a couple times, I've literally seen the first one 2 times within the last month, and a lot more appreciation a couple years down the road from it to revisit it for sure.
No, yeah, I mean it was on my top 10 2017. I thought it was really, really solid horror film, really solid coming of age story at the same time as well. But now we have this one. It's 27 years later. And everyone's got to come back because the killer clown known as Pennywise, once again played by Bill Skarsgård, is back. He's back terrorizing the town. And I gotta say, from the jump, from the opening of this movie, you can tell this is a much more brutal ride than the first.
Yeah, a lot more darker, I would say, for sure.
I don't know because you're allowed to be tougher on adults than you are kids, but either way, that's something I noticed. This one's actually a lot more hardcore. It's a lot bloodier. It's a lot gorier.
Yeah.
A lot more on-screen fatalities, and that camera does not turn away.
No, you absolutely see it a lot more in this one for sure.
There's a point where you get mad at the director. It's help this dude.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we have the adult Looters Club played by, we have James McAvoy, you have Jessica Chastain, you have Bill Hader, the Old Spice guy, Ziggy from The Wire, and other guy who I'm sure was on other stuff. But either way, I think the highlight of this film, is easily the older cast.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, granted, when they first came together, I'm not sure if I buy these chemistry. It doesn't feel like they're a unit, but I think that's kind of intentional. Because when you and we find in the story, they said in the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler, but something happens to you when you leave the towns where you forget everything. But one of them, of course, the black one, he drew the short straw. He had to stay behind. he never forgot. So everything clear as day to him. So yeah, when they're coming together originally, the chemistry doesn't feel as strong as the first, but as the movie goes on, I think it actually gets a lot better.
No, I agree. You see a lot more. Obviously, it looks weird, when you're that whole where they're at the Japanese steakhouse or whatever, and everybody's first seeing each other for the longest time.
Okay, first of all, you ever notice meetings like those always take place in kind of Asian restaurants?
Yes,
it's always a Chinese place.
Yeah, and they have their little VIP little section back there, and yeah, but I understand what you're saying, and I agree. It's more of the chemistry is off at the beginning. It's earned more throughout the whole entire film. As the movie keeps going by, you start to see the planter, the banter between the characters that made the first film such a success. You start to see it again in this one, and I think that's to say a lot with the casting of the Losers Club as adults.
Yeah, some of these adults, it's it makes you really believe time travel is not only real, but it already happened. Yeah. Because some of these adults look just picture perfect their younger selves. Mainly, the main ones I think are what's his face, Ziggy from The Wire, Eddie.
Yeah.
It's Eddie. That guy looks exactly like the younger version, yeah. And so, the same one with Ben. Granted, puberty hit him like a bus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he looks just. Not only is he hot, he is downright fucking sexy. The dude looks great. I think. Well, I don't know if you agree with me, but I think as far as the adult, I think Bill Hader is easily the standout.
Oh, easily. I think he looks exactly like Finn Wolford. I also think that Beverly and Jessica Chastain look a lot the same. I think
I
that was
just that's the one where I think she looks the least like her younger self,
I mean,
because that girl looks just like Amy Adams.
she does, but I mean, obviously, it's just I think Chastain does a good enough
No,
job,
she does a good job. Like
and
the
I think it was
performance is there.
yeah, and then
It makes you see the younger self.
oh no, I absolutely agree, but I for sure I think Chastain for me, and I would say Hater.
Hater. Someone I don't think is getting enough credit is Isaiah Mustafa. He plays Mike.
Yeah,
Something I do like about this movie is the fact that like a problem with the first movie is that Mike and Stan, they're both kind of just relegated to the back.
yeah,
It's like,
and
we use you when we need you.
he's like, but don't worry, I got all your phone numbers.
I got all your phone numbers. I'm always watching.
Did you wonder that too, or was that just me?
Yeah, I'm just like, how? When?
Seriously,
Why?
you guys haven't talked. You guys haven't talked.
Yeah, you guys have talked 20 years, but you still had your current phone numbers.
I was like, come on, there's no way, dude.
Have they not changed since '86?
Come on now.
Come on.
Yeah.
So, like, I will say something on the other part of Mike. He spearheads like a lot of the first act of this movie.
Yeah.
And then once again disappears for like an hour.
Yeah, yeah. And he sets the table, and then after he sets the table, he's gone. Like,
bye.
It's like who invited us to dinner? He's gone. Yeah, it's one of those types of situations. He gets everybody together. My work here's done.
Yeah, I mean, I can go home. You got your assignments. You go ahead. I'm not like he had his own mission at some point that we didn't see, and it's in the trailer. There's a scene where like he comes to face to face with Pennywise, he comes out of an air vent. So that scene was definitely cut.
Yeah, seriously.
Figures that he gets the one cut scene out of all the other losers, but either way. Oh, we haven't talked about McAvoy yet. The James McAvoy's in this movie.
Yeah. By the way,
plays the older version of it. There are times I was watching this and just like, okay, which split personality is this?
And I was thinking the same thing too because of the fact that you're just used to him switching out on you like that. And yeah, I would think back to him like, God, this reminds me of Split so much, like just him talking and just I
mean, there are times where he sounds like he's trying too hard to be American.
Yeah, that or just try too
I'm
hard.
A red-blooded American, I is.
Yeah, but he does a great job, I think, doing
the
stutter and everything too. So yeah, which is funny because it actually at the beginning of the film when you see him and stuff like that doing his job, you don't hear anything with the stutter.
Well, and that's also the idea. Like the idea is that when they come
when
back,
when he's away, yeah,
they revert to their former selves.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And like that's not like another theme of the movie. I think another theme that I noticed was the theme of trauma, and there's a theme of like moving on and evolving and like learning from your mistakes because like I don't know if you read the book or not, but it's actually a big theme with like Derry because like what they don't explore here, which that's the problem we'll get to later, but. Like the town essentially has collective amnesia, so they really like never learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
Something I did notice, and like we talked about before we air, like this was actually pretty minimal on Pennywise.
Yeah, I was shocked to when I was thinking about it, how few and far between Pennywise is actually in the film, which is crazy because he was such a a prevalent part in the first film, and obviously now in this one you figure he'd be a lot more in the film, and he's not.
No, he's in it when he needs to be, but like a lot of times, a lot of these scared when they go off in their journey. He manifests into other forms, which is what he does in the book. But Pennywise has always been his favorite. It is funny. There was a scene where he's trying to lure a kid, and the kid does what any other rational kid would do in that situation. Like, you're scary. I'm gonna leave. You know what I'm talking about?
You're talking about the high school bleachers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're scary. I'm leaving. Like, thank you, chairman, for the entire theater.
Finally, the one person who actually has common sense in the film that doesn't go into his trap. Yeah.
I also will say, like, they have some flashbacks to the younger cast in this movie, and they use some de-aging because at this point, like, all those kids look like completely different people.
Which is crazy because I literally had to watch. I think Chris Stuckman did a review on It Chapter 2. And he actually pointed that out. I wasn't actually even thinking about it with the Finn Wolford de-aging thing. It makes sense now, but yeah, that's crazy how they did that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know for the most part. The only part where I really noticed it, there's like the very first scene in which they come in. There's some really, I don't know if you know this, but there's some really bad ADR in those scenes.
You're talking about how the first film ends when they're all together cutting their hands.
No. I'm sorry. I'm thinking.
Okay.
I misunderstood that. I thought it's a scene where they go into their clubhouse for the first time.
Yeah. Ben's clubhouse. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's really ADR and like really like superimposed dialogue. It's like it's like watching Tom Hardy do Bane.
Okay.
Where it's just like it's such noticeable ADR. It took me out of it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch that and check it out.
Yeah, the aging is good. Aside from that, special effects. I don't know if you agree. I think special effects are not very good. Like overall,
they're okay. They're okay. I mean, I've seen way worse.
Oh no, I've definitely seen way worse. But
yeah, I mean, I think they're serviceable in the film for sure.
I mean, look, any time there's like a big special effects, you see strobe lights.
Yeah, there's a ton of strobe lights. So
strobe lights.
Yeah, there's a lot of strobe lights in this film for sure.
Yeah, and I will say, like, you haven't read the book, right? I don't think you've read it.
No, I haven't.
You haven't. So they do actually take a lot of elements from this book, and funny enough, there is a big thing of like endings and like how endings can often be disappointing and can often be let down, which is funny considering this is a Stephen King movie and that's kind of a staple of his. They do fix some things with the ending with the book and with the 1990 miniseries, which if you've seen it, the ending of that, it's ridiculous. And they do it in a way where I think it works. It works in more, to drive harder the themes of the film. And I mean, it could have been worse. It definitely could have been a lot worse. There's a metric for how bad it could have been. It didn't hit that.
For sure.
And honestly, I think I give a lot of props to Andy Muschietti because I think he has an understanding of what the source material should be, and what the source material, what it means to people and like the deeper themes of it. And I think he translated a lot of that into the actual movie. Yeah. I will say though, this movie. Do you think it needed to be nearly 3 hours? It's a long movie.
No, like we were talking before we obviously started recording. I think the thing that really hurts the film is the fact that it is almost 3 hours. It's hard to stay engaged that long. I mean, I understand you have to go back to call back for the first films and kind of tie up some loose ends there, and you're wasting a lot.
But even that, they don't completely tie up every loose end.
No, and they don't tie everything up. But it's nice to see the callbacks. But you realize there's a lot of like wasted time in this film that they could be either shaving it off or using putting more screen time with Pennywise and stuff like that in the film.
Yeah, they also like not 3 or 4, like 5 or 6 times do the same scene back to back to back to back.
Yeah. I mean, it does.
When you see it.
Yeah, I mean, and it hurts the film because of the fact that you're thinking going into the second one, it's going to be like the first one. The tone and the feel of this film are completely different.
The tone could be a little. The first one's more of a horror, more of a coming of age story. This one's
a lot more,
it feels more like a horror comedy, although I'm not sure if it's intentional all the time because some of the scares just get downright goofy.
Yeah, there's some of the scenes in there like with and I'm not really spoiling anything, but the old lady that Beverly goes to see and she's dancing naked in the background scene.
Yeah, I laughed my ass off
because then after that you're like, okay, so what was the point of that? Like it was just more to introduce.
You had her locked in the house, like Pennywise. That brother's dumb.
Seriously, and then I think the only real reason that they really even furthered that story was just the fact that the old lady said that her dad was part of the circus, and they obviously tied into Pennywise there. You know what I mean? So
many times he will have these kids dead to rights, or not these adults dead to rights. Yeah, and he won't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, you're just prolonging the inevitable almost. You know it. You can have them right then and there, but you wait. You play that cat mouse game. You know what I mean? And the 3 hour running time does hurt it a little bit. It's still a fun film. I mean, it's a fun film, but it's an absolute different tone.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It does feel like a very much different film, but I do think it's a really great companion piece to the first hits.
Absolutely, and to watch those back to back, I think would be really fun. I know the couple drive-in theaters by where I live were showing it Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 back to back, which I thought would have been kind of fun to watch that all together.
I do. There is rumor that Machete wants to do like a 6 hour, well, I don't know, not 6 hours, but like an extended, like interweaving ultimate cut of it. I hate using that word because of BBS, but he wants to do that kind of version of it where it's more like the book, where it cuts back and forth between present day, or if it's just like the movie stitched together, just like end to end. But either way, I would want to see that.
Oh, I absolutely would too. So you said he's going to do a thing where it's rumored that he wants to do a whole entire 6 hour companion piece for the whole entire film.
Basically,
both films.
Put one and two together.
Put one and two together, and then kind of splice some other stuff in there to kind of stay faithful to the book, pretty much, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be good with that. I would absolutely watch it.
Yeah, no, I would too, because I feel like this would actually like flow really, really nicely if you watch them back to back like that. So
I agree.
So last thing to do, we got to do our ratings. So Russell, what do you say? Do you give us a chance? And if you do, at what cost?
I would honestly say matinee, just because of the first film was really, really good, and I will say that I'll go out and say the first film's better than the second one. I don't think that's a surprise, and I know I echo a lot of other people's sentiments. If you even pay attention to, not saying that Rotten Tomatoes is correct, but just look how fast that Rotten, the tomato score is dropping.
That dip quick.
I mean, like really fast. I think it premiered literally with like a 78 or something, some kind of. It was in the 70s.
It was like a low 80 or like a high 70.
It's in the 60s now, so it's dropping. And there's kind of a reason why for it. I think the 3-hour runtime kind of hurts this film in that aspect, but overall, it's a fun film. To me, it's a matinee. I wouldn't pay full price for it, but if you've seen the first one, the 2017 film, you want to go in and see this film. So I would wait to a matinee to catch it. You'll be pleasantly surprised with it. I mean, it is a good companion piece to the first film, but does it live up to the first film in the feels? I don't think it does.
Yeah, this is difficult for me because I saw what reception was getting. I'm just like, okay, I kind of just took a deep breath, lowered my expectations. But I think because of that, I actually enjoying it a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah.
It's tough for me because I'm teetering between it's like borderline. It's like a high matinee versus a low full price.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna round it up. I'm gonna say good chance of full price.
Okay.
I do think that if you really love the first It, you're gonna enjoy this one. I find it hard to believe if somebody really liked the first It and thought this and didn't like this one. I don't entirely see how that's possible, but hey, I think just go in, have a good time. Strap in. It's a 3-hour roller coaster.
Seriously, and it's a slow burn at times. I mean, it takes a while. It takes a while to get there, but when it gets there, it is a fun film. And I'm not saying that matinee is like downing the film at all. I think it's a good film. It's a really good companion piece of the first film. I just don't think that it really kind of. I don't know. The first film, I think, does a lot more for me than this film.
All right, so that was our review. What do you think of it? Leave a comment down below. Like, share, subscribe. Russell, do you have anything you want to plug?
Just join our Facebook group, Notorious by Chance. That's where we throw polls up and we leave it to you guys to vote on what we review. We have a couple episodes in the hopper. I think our latest episode we shot was our 20th anniversary episode. We're going to be reviewing that throwing that down sometime soon. We talked about the 1999 Matrix. So stay tuned for that. And we got a lot of good stuff coming your way. So just, join the Facebook group. Subscribe to it. Anything, you could do to help that channel grow. We appreciate that.
You can find me at Twitter, Instagram, at ChanceWorth_91. Check out the Schmodown. It was announced that the Arizona show was canceled, but we're going to be doing that live from Burbank, Schmodown Throwdown. So go buy your stream tickets for that. Get your tickets for Orlando, where I will